Okay, people. Well, it's Wednesday the 30th of September 2015. I was going to pop in and see our old friend Brian Leslie at the New Zealand Police Station, Henderson there. Tomorrow, when I'm out with my wife at her appointment, I've got quite a very busy day tomorrow. My daughter's doing her first public performance at a mall, which she's really excited about. And, I don't want to muck that up, so what I'm going to do is I have, of course, not heard from Brian, even though I left my details and said I'd require that information. I've not got it. Gone online, looked it up, printed out a few different sections of the Summary Offences Act, and I'll stick this on the clip there for you, along with the statement for the police card that he wouldn't accept from me at the time, and some contact details there for me as well if he needs it. So yeah, seeing he's failed to back up his bullshit, I thought I'd show him what his bullshit actually is and correct his errors, or at least ask for him to perhaps follow the line instead of overstep it. So yeah, I'm just leaving the Lincoln Centre. I've just went and bought some material for my wife. And yeah, next up is grocery shopping, so I don't really want to do this with a carload of groceries in the car. So again, I'm not going to stick around, I'm just going to leave it at the counter, much like I did with Lance Adams, and I just left the details there with him, and the lady, I forget her name, just put it in his pigeonhole, so to speak. Then hopefully they can just do the same here for old Sergeant Bry, and he can stick this either in his pigeonhole or anywhere else he likes. But just to clarify, peeping and peering into a dwelling house only applies to persons, for one thing, and applies to nighttime, and it applies to private dwelling houses. Didn't see a private dwelling house at the New Zealand Police Station in Henderson. As far as I was concerned, none of it's private because it's a publicly owned spot, and he was way off back. So, dropping it in, not going to cause a shitstorm or anything, hopefully, and yeah, they'll just take it in their stride. What they do with it, I don't care, but at least I've got it on record that I've supplied that information to them. They can't plead ignorant. And it only strengthens my case that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You know, he may be busy. There may be multiple reasons why he hasn't contacted me in 6 days and given me the information I've requested. But as silence is acquiescence, I'm just going to accept the fact that he was full of shit, didn't know what he was talking about, and that I can do what the fuck I want. So here we are at the New Zealand Police Station again. Oh, let's park in the same spot I parked last time, eh? Because they like leaving that spot open for me. Look, there's a cop car coming to the petrol. So that's a cop car there, right there. Look, Lance. Look, Brian, there's a cop car coming out of his private thing. What are we going to do? Shit, let's alert the media. Anyway, let's go in.
hospital tomorrow, so they'll do it tomorrow.
Hey, yeah, mate. Last week I was parked across the road and had a little altercation with Sergeant Brian Leslie. He had issues with me filming in public, the driveway. Anyway, he said it was akin, or almost akin, to peeping and peering, so I came back in here straight away and asked him to please supply me the legislative rule or the act that he was using to enforce to say that it's not okay. I left my number and details. I've got no reply in 6 days from him. So what I've done is I've gone on to legislation, found up the Summary Offences Act and pointing out the peeping and peering he's talking about there. Okay, it has to do with night time, not 10:30 in the morning. And it has to do with private dwelling houses, which the New Zealand Police Station isn't. So I'd like you to make sure that that goes through to his pigeonhole or whatever it is, so he can be re-educated on that and make sure everybody else is aware it's perfectly okay to record in public. He used that and threatened to arrest me. There's also something there about intimidation and threatening. Threatening to arrest me because he's not getting an answer isn't acceptable. I have the right to remain silent, and he, stepped right over me. So he's up on YouTube. Over 6 days he's had over 1,800 views, so hey, he's a big success. Normally I get less than 100, so it's just a lot of people aren't too impressed worldwide. So. Alright, some information for you. Thank you. Alright, so let's just recall, okay, this is public sidewalk, okay, and there's where the car is and was parked last week, right there, okay people, and right here is what he had an issue with me filming, so I'm just going to do it again. He thinks that peeping and peering has an issue. Well, he's wrong. You're a joke, Brian. Don't think the young fellow at the counter had a clue how to deal with that one. That's alright. Fuck him. Okay, so just for Brian's reference, there's your gateway, there's your entrance, and this is me filming it. Not breaching any law, not being almost akin to peeping and peering, because I could have almost smacked you in the head, but I didn't. Not saying that I'm a violent person, but I certainly defend myself, and your attitude sucked that day, buddy. I don't know, perhaps you're used to just bossing people around all day, perhaps that's how you're trained, I don't know. Anyway. New Zealand Police. Okay, there's your driveway. There you go. There's another one there for you. Best not have my cell phone on me. Next thing you know, they'll say that operating my cell phone while I'm driving. No, that's not allowed. Till we meet again, Brian, consider yourself educated. I wish people would stop living in fear. God, comments like impressive, impressive set of balls to go back into the cop shop. It's got nothing to do with fear. Alright, people need to snap out of this fear mentality, living in fear of terrorists or bombs or fucking knowledge, fear of a camera. I'm usually a pretty placid guy. I mean, I get passionate about stuff. So does anybody. I'm not going to say I'm a non-emotional fucking robot like compartmentalised monkeys appear to be. No, I have emotions. But unfortunately, when you deal with the legislative society or the law society or the legal system, they don't have emotion. They're not a living, breathing entity. They're a dead fucking corporation or a dead fiction. There's no way that they have emotion. They don't breathe. They don't have a heartbeat. And something that doesn't have a heartbeat can't possibly have emotion. Anyway, my whole point is, hopefully Brian's been educated. Contact details are there. If he wants to ring me up anytime, no trouble. I'll take your call. It'll be recorded, of course. But, I'll take your call. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm not saying I'm obliged to answer, but feel free to ask them. But honestly, Brian, you brought this on yourself. I was sitting there minding my own business, doing nothing wrong, and because of your paranoia, or whoever's paranoia, that I'm sitting across the road filming a police station, which is not cause for concern, Michael fuck-ass Monsanto. Sitting across the road from a police station is no different from sitting across the road from a supermarket, or sitting across the road from the government building. It's no different. It's just a fucking building. It is not a private residence. It has not got people's private business going on there. It was an open public car park. So there was no cause for concern. The fact that I was recording them currently at the time being filmed, they knew there was no expectation of privacy because they were standing in front of a camera. So you guys have really got to get a grasp of it, eh? Or the sheeple comments, as people put them, that get a job, or don't you have anything else better to do? The ones that don't understand that I'm just exercising my rights. I'm just being a man on earth, acting equal to any other. I'm not coming up to them telling them they can't do shit, because what they're doing isn't causing me any harm or distress or alarm or loss or injury. So, and that's how it works. That's how constables have authority. If you've breached the peace, if you've breached the law, the common law of the land, the law of and the customs of the people that live on that land. Totally different from statutory legislation and policy, which is what the police officer, the Crown Corporation agent, is also doing when he's enforcing statutory rules in legislature. They're not being a constable. They're enforcing fees and infringements. Most of the things they do involves dishing out some bit of paper that's going to gain revenue. None of it has a victim. None of it has someone that could turn around and say, gee, thanks for seeing me right there, bro. None of that shit. It's solely revenue. And cops don't seem to understand that they serve the two masters. They're serving the Queen, upholding the Queen's peace and her coronation that she took to obey God's laws. Alright? And then you've got statutory legislation written by the Crown and the Parliament supremacy and the Democratic Society of New Zealand, which is governed by rules, not law. Because legislative rules are given the force of law. They can't be law if they're given the force of it, can they? And there must be something else first. Anyway, I'm at Pack and Save. Enough of my rant. Bye.